Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's good? So, I thought this was an interesting topic. The truth about the rematch clause, specifically pertaining to Terence Crawford in this Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford match. As we all know, there is a bi-directional rematch clause, which means if Errol Spence loses, he has an opportunity to activate the rematch clause. If Terence Crawford loses, he has the same opportunity afforded to him as well. And from what I've been hearing, I don't think any of us have actual eyes on the contract, on the paperwork itself. But from what I've been hearing, the rematch, no matter what happens, is slated to take place at 154. I just saw something that furthermore reiterated that with Errol Spence. He did an interview he did a couple of interviews. He did an interview at the Dallas Cowboys facility when he went to go, hang out with Jerry Jones and the players. And he also did an interview with Shaquille O'Neal on the big podcast, right? And he was like, look, this is my last fight at 147. I got one more belt to get. I'm going to get this belt, and then I can finally move up. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, if Terence Crawford activate his rematch clause, we'll do it again. He didn't specifically mention 154 as far as the rematch, but that's what I've been hearing. But neither here nor there, right? Nonetheless, what I'm about to say in this video, it's still going to be on par with what I believe is actually going to happen. So the truth behind this rematch clause. Now, for Terence Crawford being, 35, he'll be 36 later on this year, still in his prime, still in phenomenal shape, sharp. Both of these guys have said out their mouth leading up to this fight, like in the last few days, that this fight is so great because we're both in our prime. This fight is going to be better than Manny Pacquiao and Floyd because we're both in our prime. We're both, top 5 pound for pound caliber fighters, just like Floyd and Manny were. But the difference is we're not old guys. You know what I'm saying? We're fighting at our very best. So Terence Crawford still in his prime. But the fact is he's 35, about to be 36 later this year. And the rematch. Let's talk about the first fight real quick. Now, y'all know I got Errol Spence beating Terence Crawford, right? And I think for Errol Spence, him winning this fight, I think he can win this fight by decision. And I think he can win it by stoppage. It could be a one-punch knockout. It could be a technical knockout. It could be Bo Mack throwing in the towel. It could be the ref stopping it. It could be the doctor stopping it because of a bad injury on Terence Crawford. I could see him outworking Terence Crawford the entire fight, winning on the cards. The only way I really see Terence Crawford beating Errol Spence is by a knockout. You know what I'm saying? Hitting Errol Spence with a shot that Errol don't see, and just stopping him. You know what I'm saying? Literally the only way I really see Terence Crawford winning this fight, because I think Terence Crawford is such a great finisher that when he hurts a fighter, he finishes them. Like, if he get Errol Spence hurt, I think he finishes the job. If he gets him hurt bad enough, I think he finishes the job. So that's literally the only way I see Terence Crawford winning. My point is, and the truth behind this rematch clause is that if Terence Crawford rematches Errol Spence, keep in mind, I think he's going to lose this fight. I have Terence Crawford losing this fight. And whether Errol Spence stops him or beats him by a decision, this fight is going to take a lot out of Terence Crawford. Number one, again, he's already 35, about to be 36. After Errol Spence is done with Terence Crawford in this first fight, it's going to take a lot out of him. He's going to have some injuries. One of his eyes is going to be broken up. He might have a broken rib. There's going to be a level of punishment that Terence Crawford is going to take in this fight that he's never taken ever in his career. This is going to be a war for Terence Crawford because of his temperament and his fighting style. Terence Crawford, he likes to fight. He wants to fight. The dope thing about this fight and him fighting Errol Spence is that Errol Spence is the type of fighter that forces you to fight. It ain't just like AB said on Fight Hype. It ain't finna be no moving around and trying to get out the way and boxing and looking pretty, moving around the ring. At some point, you're going to have to fight Errol Spence. He going to cut that ring off, apply that pressure on your ass, and you're going to have to fight. I got another video coming with Errol Spence talking about what separates him from Terence Crawford when he did the interview at the Dallas Cowboys facility. I'll give y'all a little sneak peek. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence said, look, I'm more durable. And if he choose to sit there and fight with me, you're going to see the difference. And we know that at some point he going to have to fight Errol Spence. I told y'all since 2018, this fight going to be half chess match, half dog fight. And the chess match aspect of it, that's not going to be like it ain't finna be like Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. That shit gonna be real intense, and it's gonna be some fill out rounds early, but Earl gonna be, Earl idea of a chess match gonna look different from Terence Crawford idea of a chess match. Terence Crawford idea of a chess match is downloading data, you know what I'm saying, and trying to figure motherfuckers out, trying to see what they doing and all that, which is cool, very cerebral. Errol Spence, who is also a highly cerebral fighter, his filling out process is different. His filling out process look like coming forward behind that jab with intelligent pressure and phenomenal distance control and putting hands on you while he breaking you down and watching for shit, figuring shit out. Plus he got a mastermind Derrick James in the back watching shit too. So when he go back and sit down in between rounds, Derrick James feeding him more information. Hey, do this. I saw this. He's susceptible to this. You know what I'm saying? Hit him here. Hit him there. You feel what I'm saying? Turn your body like this. He's getting more information from Derrick James in the back. So the chess match aspect of it looks different for both fighters. What I'm getting at is Terence Crawford, there's gonna be an accumulation of ass whooping in this fight. I'm keeping it all the way 100 with y'all. It's going to be an accumulation of ass whooping. And if Terence Crawford make it through this fight alive, and then when I say alive, I'm talking about he make it through the cards and, he's still able to stand up on his 2 feet. He make it to the cards. There's going to be some damage that he takes in this fight. A rematch with Errol Spence might be out of the question. That shit really might be out of the question. And you know what? Terence Crawford being a dog that he is, the temperament, the attitude that he got, because he really a dog. And that's one of the things that I respect about Terence Crawford. But it's one of the things when you fight somebody like Errol Spence, who got all those fundamentals and skill sets and abilities that you need on an elite level, but then he also got that dog too. You know what I'm saying? And stylistically, I think it plays into the hands of a guy like Errol Spence who wants to force you to fight. You know what I'm saying? And if you're going to sit there in the pocket with Errol Spence, say goodbye. So if Terence Crawford makes it through that first fight without any crazy injuries, because remember, the rematch clause has to be activated within, I think, like 30 days. And I believe it has to take place by the end of 2023. And most likely it'll take place at 154. From everything that I have read and heard, it's only going to be one shot at Undisputed at 147. That next fight is going to be at 54. So you've seen how guys in the past, Yordenis Ugas, terrible injury. You feel me? Had to take a lot of time off. Kell Brook, broken up. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Kell Brook was the same after the Triple G fight, but he was still in his prime when Earl fought him at 147, and he was undefeated at 147, rated the #1 fighter at 147 at the time Earl fought him. Earl broke him up even more. Kell Brook, never the same. Sean Porter, never the same after he fought Errol Spence. He went through a war with Errol Spence, got in there during the pandemic and fought Sebastian Formella, some dude who don't have no business being in the ring with Sean Porter. And Sean Porter, look, less than stellar. He didn't look good in that fight. That's the dude you supposed to whoop his ass. He didn't look good in that fight. Sean Porter that fought Errol Spence would have stopped Sebastian Formella. You feel what I'm saying? These guys that Mikey Garcia was never the same after them 12 rounds that he went with Errol Spence. We talking about a 39-0 pound for pound, top 5 pound for pound guy, a 4-division champion in Mikey Garcia. These dudes don't be the same after they go 12 rounds with Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Leonard Bundu, never heard from him again. You know what I'm saying? These dudes never be the same. Phil O'Greco, what happened to him? So, my point is, you go 12 rounds with Errol Spence or however long that fight lasts in the first fight. That second fight, if he rematches Errol Spence in the second, if he activates his rematch clause like Errol Spence said, that might be the end of Terence Crawford. That might be the end of Terence Crawford. I don't care if it's at 47 or 54, but especially if it's at 54, you done already got your ass whooped, and out of sheer pride, you gonna fight Errol Spence again. Terence Crawford will not be the same. Terence Crawford will be retired. That's the truth behind this rematch clause. That's what this shit really means. It means that if Terence Crawford take that rematch with Errol Spence, he's never gonna be the same again. If that's not his last fight, he probably gonna have 1 or 2 more fights after that, and those are just gonna be like them fights Roy Jones be fighting. You know what I'm saying? After motherfuckers, you know, you washed up, you just out there now. You know what I'm saying? Ain't the same. You just out there. You feel me? Motherfuckers know you did what you did when you was hot. You feel me? But motherfuckers know you ain't who you used to be. If he fight Errol Spence 2 times, Terence Crawford is done. Over with. His career is done. You're not going to be the same fighting Errol Spence once, let alone 2 times. That shit crazy. Errol Spence is a type of fighter that imposes an accumulation of ass whooping on fighters. He may not knock you out with 1 shot. Sometimes he will, like the Leonard Bundu fight, like the Chris Algieri fight. But for the most part, since he's so tactical and just systematically breaks you down, like Derrick James told him in that fight versus Chris Van Heerden, keep throwing jabs, they gonna stop this fight. By round 4 in the Chris Van Heerden fight, a southpaw, told y'all when it's a southpaw versus southpaw, that jab is you in a straight line of fire for that jab. Chris Van Heerden left eye was swole in 4 rounds. That motherfucker was half shut in 4 rounds, bro, off the jab. Off the jab in a straight left. You know what I'm saying? You not finna be able to fight a guy like Errol Spence 2 times and be okay. You not. That shit just not happening, man. That's the truth behind this rematch clause. That's the hard, cold truth. That's the reality of the situation. You dig what I'm saying? Whether Terence Crawford win the first fight or not, if he fight Errol Spence twice, he not gonna be the same. And I don't think he gonna beat Errol Spence neither time. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. How do y'all feel about, Terence Crawford potentially fighting Errol Spence 2 times? What do you think that does to him physically? Do you think he can get through 2 fights with Errol Spence? Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holla at y'all boys, man.